Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, Software Engineer K, and we've got some pretty cool stuff to go through today. We had a Q&A with Dave and Joe in the official VeVe Discord. So they shared some pretty cool information with us. One piece of information they explained to us was how OMI is going to be transitioning into the new chain. So they explained how that process is going to work. So I'll share that with you guys. Um, I did also want to touch very briefly on the founder wallets with regards to market volatility. And I did also want to go on to the updates that we've had in the app. So the VeVe Marketplace. And just continuing on, we have the drop tomorrow. So just a quick touch on that. And I did want to also add on just where OMI stands in terms of projects overall, just so you guys have some context to apply it to and why I am quite bullish on OMI in the midterm to long term. And we'll obviously wrap up with our daily price analysis. So I did release this video yesterday explaining why Ecomi had delays to OMI to Gem, and Ecomi, they did drop a comment on the video as well, so that's pretty cool. But definitely check out this video because I tried to explain it in a non-technical way, just so some who aren't that familiar with kind of the underlying tech, the process that goes around it, the software development lifecycle, just so they can have something that adds to their understanding of why Ecomi has these delays. Because it's normal. They have a product. A lot of crypto projects don't have a product. It's just a coin they've listed, and they say buy and hold, and people fall for it just because it's got a meme attached to the name. But I will touch on that later on. Now, GoChain, they have the addresses for all of the founders, so don't believe anyone who says the founders dumped. They still have every single one of their OMI tokens, literally every single one. Now, any market volatility currently caused is being caused by people who already held OMI that was selling it. So that could be the whales, that could be the panic sellers, that could just be people who are day trading it. Just a mix of those. So just remember that. However, the team did reserve 20% of the OMI total supply for business development. And if you guys recall, they accidentally burnt 100 billion of that 150 billion. So there's actually only 50 billion OMI for business development. That's got knocked down by 2/3. Now, that is kind of slightly worrying, but also reassuring. So firstly, the worrying part is that OMI was supposed to be used for, buying licenses, expanding their operations, that's everything related to business expenses, raising that was their kind of main source of raising capital. They lost 2/3 of that. So essentially that means they may be slightly cash strapped. It depends moving forwards. I mean, they are making pretty good revenue from the drop, so maybe they won't be cash strapped at all. But at the same time, because OMI, this 20% supply or less than that now, that was supposed to be used for their kind of business expenses. That means they really, really need OMI to be as valuable as possible. So that is going to incentivize them to really make the best products possible, have OMI be worth as much as possible in terms of dollars or pounds or whatever currency you use, so that they have more funding to use to buy more licenses, to expand their company, grow it, and everything. That is, kind of like the main thing that they're targeting. So I think that's good because as long as the product is good, everything else is going to follow. Price will follow if they've got a solid product, they've got a solid roadmap for marketing, which Roger and Cohen, they said that they're currently in the onboarding process. So that process is going to take about 4 to 5 months, and then once Roger and Cohen's fully onboarded with Ecomi, they know exactly what the product is, how to target the various different things. They've learned everything about what the company is working on. Then they'll do their thing. So on the point of auctions, now they had an update not just to auctions but also to the in-app OMI wallet. So if you have an Android device, you can send OMI back to exchanges now. I have noticed that a lot of people were under the impression that the OMI that you could see from when you bought gems, you would have OMI there as well. They thought that was this free OMI given to you, and they're trying to send that. Like, that will not work. You get stuck in an endless loop of two-factor authentications. If you had 1,000 OMI on Bitmax or a Sendex, whatever, and you send that to the OMI, to the VeVe app, you can only send out 1,000 OMI, regardless of how much it shows you. I think once you make that first transaction, it will reset the balance, so it removes the kind of reserve OMI, so you only ever see your own personal OMI that you sent there. But in terms of auctions, we now have a restriction to new accounts. So new accounts cannot bid in the marketplace for at least 3 days, 72 hours. And also, if you miss an auction, paying for an auction that you won, then you will be banned for 72 hours. So, people need to be held, you have to hold yourself accountable. If you bid on something and you win, you should pay for it. Otherwise, you don't have anyone else to blame but yourself if you miss 3 days of market. And on top of that, you have to also escrow 10 gems if you participate in auctions. So I think that's pretty good. I haven't noticed any of those May 9th gorilla dump dudes who were spamming up the auctions before. Like, they've just vanished. And sticking on the point of medium articles, now we have got an update in terms of the new drop. So we have 4 drops, 4 editions, 4 different types. The common 6888 editions, all of the editions end in 888. I'll probably speculate on why I think that is in a second, but they are quite pricey, but I think they look pretty cool. This one's my favorite, the uncommon, silver and black. Definitely, I think this one looks the best. 488 of that. And the silver is rare, but it's 188. So that is rarer than the ultra rare Cthulhu that we had from the Cryptgames drop. So I see this, going for quite a bit. I think at least, when this drop is done, this should be going for at least 300 gems. That's just my prediction. And the ultra rare, I don't even know how much this is going to go for, but it's pretty rare. I can see this approaching potentially, 800 to 1k gems. But 888, so this is obviously inspired by East Asian kind of Chinese culture, maybe Japanese, I'm not sure, but you have to remember that David Yu, he has huge influence, or he's pretty much the guy who decides how much editions there are. And because this is East Asian inspired, and David Yu does have like his Taiwanese Chinese background, I believe is because 888, or just the number 8, is regarded as a very lucky number in Chinese culture. So he's probably decided to kind of, throw in that kind of bit of fun in there. So anyone who does get 888, that's a super, super lucky one. And I believe this would have a huge market in kind of like the Asian resale market. Anything that's, triple A or double A or whatever, that is huge resale value. So I think that is pretty cool. Now, I did also want to touch on the point of projects. So I have got Dogecoin here. This is, I haven't chosen it for any very specific reason. It's just one example because I have covered it in the past. But it's just a good one that I wanted to touch on. So a lot of people aren't aware that, a lot of these projects coming out, like, Syrup Swap, Kebab Swap, Arse Finance, these kind of meme ones, they are literally copy and paste of another project. So Dogecoin is a copy and paste of Litecoin, or I think some people said that there was another project that copied Litecoin and then Dogecoin copied that. But literally what these guys do is they'll go to the code, here it is, it's got clone, they'll copy the code base, they'll add their own kind of branding to it, and then they'll redeploy it and release it on an ICO or whatever, and that's it. They'll mint 100 billion tokens or whatever. They'll go to some YouTubers and say, hey, we'll give you 10 billion of our new tokens if you do a video on it. And obviously a lot of these YouTubers do. You notice which ones do, because just out of nowhere, some of these guys don't even talk about cryptocurrency, just randomly they start talking about cryptocurrency. I'm sure if you guys have seen some popular YouTubers randomly covering cryptocurrency now, they've probably been paid to do it, like as in sponsored to do it. That's what I believe, because I have had projects approach me as well to do videos on their projects, and they offered me their tokens, but I don't really promote things I don't believe in. So remember that Ecomi, you cannot clone it, partly because the code base is private, so you can't anyway, but also you can't clone the VeVe app, you can't clone the licenses that they hold. Like, all of this is very, very, it is their USP, their unique selling point. A lot of these tokens, it's got a funny meme attached to it, and it's just got a bunch of tokens that you buy and hold, and that's how it gains value. Ecomi is not like that. There is a proper fundamental system which is why I said it was bulletproof. Even if you go into bear market, the NFT market is separate to the crypto market. As long as NFTs sell, Ecomi will continue to be removed from circulation, and that is the point. I guarantee you a lot of these copy paste clone projects, once people have pulled money out of it, money ain't going to go back in. And there's loads of examples I've seen of that. We had very early kind of DeFi projects like Goose Finance, and people pulled their money out of it, and now it's pretty much dead. And they reallocated their money to, if it's the same kind of people, into like these meme coins. So remember that Ecomi has a lot of intrinsic value, because the value lays in the licenses, the application, as well as the secure wallet. The secure wallet is pretty cool. And the team itself, the team is what really gives it value. Most projects, they're not the people behind it aren't actually super experienced experts in anything. They're just a kind of group of, I guess, developers and some other people who had this funny idea. Let's clone this project, slap a meme on it, and then make billions off it. That's just, that's the state of the market right now. And going back to the state of the market, so right now we have kind of been chilling on the same support as yesterday. The price right now, so it has come down below to 0.42 cents, is kind of just hopping around in this region here. If you go to the 4 hourly chart, so we wicked here, we've got a candle that's just above here. It was going to close below, but it did wick above the support again. I don't see us really leaving this range anytime soon. If we get the exchange listings confirmed for this month, which Dan C said was a greater than average chance, and that's pretty good, we will break this zone. Otherwise, I don't see us leaving the zone, assuming all other factors are constant. And what I mean by that is, if Bitcoin's value stays constant to what it is right now, then we'll probably hang around here for longer. If Bitcoin crashes, then I do see us coming down. We'll probably come back down to kind of like this 0.3 cent region. We did wick below it on Ascendex. This wick didn't show on Bitforex, so I guess it was a kind of exchange liquidity issue, and it only hung around it for like a couple of minutes. So anyone who bought down here, they got really lucky. So what I'm going to do, this is just what I would do, is I would probably set a pending buy for myself at 0.35 cents, just in case we get a wick down there as well. And, that will be pretty good for lowering average cost. But yeah, remember this support here, last time we were around that region was back in early March, and that was right before we kind of took off. So again, we could enter this region, but we have a lot more retail investors now versus institutional. So around here, we had just way too many institutional investors buying in, and they kind of slowly dumped on us. But wealth has been distributed. There are a lot more unique OMI holders now than there were a month ago. So I believe that is just going to continue until eventually most of the OMI holders are retail versus institutional. But that's pretty much everything I want to go through with you guys today. I will keep you guys updated with anything else I find out. And as always, please do like and subscribe to support the content. And I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.